All right, today we are diving into a really high-stakes tech story. It's about a company called GRRR Technology, ticker GRRR. The analysis here points to just a wild ride involving AI, smart cities, and a multi-billion-dollar promise that, honestly, seems almost too good to be true. Let's get right into it. So we have to start with the central puzzle, the big question mark hanging over this whole thing. This company claims it has a project pipeline worth over $7 billion. Now, for a company of its size, that number is absolutely staggering. How is that even possible? And that one question, it's really at the very heart of this story. Now, to put that massive pipeline into perspective, just take a look at the company's recent stock price, a little over 13 bucks. So you've got this $7 billion promise on one side and this pretty modest share price on the other. That disconnect is exactly what makes this analysis so compelling, and it just begs the question, what is really going on here?
Okay, so to understand that disconnect, we really need to look past the stock ticker and figure out what GRRR Technology actually does.
Their core technology is something called Edge AI, and you can think of it like this. Instead of sending tons and tons of data to some distant cloud server to be processed, Edge AI does all the thinking right where the data is collected, on a camera or a sensor right there on the spot. This is absolutely crucial for their clients who need instant, super secure analysis for things like public safety and law enforcement. Now, GRRR isn't just selling one little piece of the puzzle here. They combine real-time video analytics, management for all those IoT devices, and network security all into one single integrated platform. What that means is they can sell complete, turnkey smart city solutions to huge clients like governments who need a system that works right out of the box instead of trying to stitch together a dozen different products themselves. Okay, so with that background, let's explore the really optimistic side of this story, the powerful arguments that make up the bull case for GRRR Technology. And the bulls? Well, they have some serious numbers to back them up. In the first quarter of 2025, the company's revenue grew a massive 109% year over year. I mean, that's more than double. This isn't just a story about some future promise. It shows some serious momentum happening right now. And check out the scale of their deals. According to the analysis, GRRR secured a single contract in Southeast Asia for an AI data center, and it's valued at $1.4 billion. Now, just to be clear, that one deal is worth multiple times their entire current annual revenue. It's huge. And that single contract is really just one piece of the puzzle. It's part of a total reported pipeline of projects that's worth over $7 billion. This is that massive potential opportunity that has growth investors so interested. The source material sums up the bull case perfectly with this quote. Investing in GRRR is a leveraged bet on all these huge trends colliding: AI, edge computing, and smart cities. In other words, it's a way to get really concentrated exposure to all these huge tech trends at once. If they can actually pull it off, the potential payoff could be absolutely enormous. But, and it's a big but, every bull case has a counter-argument. We have to pivot now and look at the pretty significant risks that could derail this entire story. This is the bear case.
The biggest challenge, hands down, is execution. Look, having a multi-billion-dollar pipeline on paper is one thing. Actually delivering these massive, complex infrastructure projects on time and on budget, especially when you're dealing with government bureaucracies and multi-year timelines, that is an entirely different and incredibly difficult challenge.
And then there's the whole issue of timing. Even if you have a signed contract in your hand, the revenue might not actually show up for years. These big government projects have super long deployment phases and milestone-based payments, which means that $7 billion pipeline is not going to turn into cash overnight. And finally, there's what's called concentration risk. The analysis points out the danger of depending on just a few massive government contracts. It's like putting all your eggs in one basket. If even one of these mega deals gets delayed or renegotiated or just canceled, it could be devastating for the company's finances. So, how do we balance this incredible potential against these very serious risks? It's time to weigh the odds. This slide really puts the whole story in contrast. The bull case, a massive pipeline, really strong revenue growth, and an improving balance sheet. The bear case, extreme execution risk, uncertain revenue timing, and a dangerous dependency on just a few big contracts. This right here, this is the central tension of the GRRR story. So to help make sense of this going forward, the analysis provides a kind of watch list, key milestones that are going to signal which way this story is actually heading.
Here are the 4 things you'll want to watch. First, are they turning that pipeline into official, signed contracts? Second, do the quarterly reports show that growth is continuing and, maybe more importantly, are profit margins improving? Third, are they actually delivering these huge projects on schedule? And finally, is the company managing its cash and its debt responsibly while it's trying to scale up? These are the signals that will tell you if the bull case is actually becoming a reality.
The analysis wraps up with this core investment thesis describing the opportunity as asymmetric. All that means is the potential downside and the potential upside aren't equal. The potential loss is limited to the current share price, but if they succeed, the potential gain could be substantially larger. It's a classic high-risk, high-reward scenario.
And so ultimately, the source material leaves us with this final, really provocative question. Is GRRR technology a moonshot investment that could deliver incredible returns? Or is it a black hole that's just going to consume capital while chasing a dream that's too difficult to execute? The answer? Well, it's going to depend entirely on whether they can turn that $7 billion promise into reality.